Hey, Shalom, Makim Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth and that's what teaching his truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, all the way down to the large multitude that believes in who the Lord will deliver in these last days. To you all I say Shalom. I'm the brother Tazamah from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back today with another lesson. And Lord willing, today this lesson will be edifying. Today's lesson is going to be entitled, Schwab says, Era of Shock Events is Coming Ahead of 2024 Election. All right, Era of Shock Events is coming ahead of 2024 elections. Okay, and shock events, an era of shock events to a degree are pretty much polycrises, all right, that are going to be happening, all right, ahead of the elections, as they're saying. But these are going to be events that are going to be happening just in general. You know, Yahweh Shai said it himself. Yahweh Shai said, he said, I have come to send fire on earth, and what would I if it already be kindled? Meaning that, like, pretty much I'm coming to send fire, and how I wish that it were already burning. And you're gonna have all kinds of events, all kinds of skirmishes, and you know, you're gonna have all kinds of skirmishes taking place, whether it be, you know, it's gonna be civil unrest, you know what I'm saying, but whether it be terrorist attacks that are gonna be happening, you know, whether it's gonna be factions rising up and different groups rising up against one another, like it says in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, you know, you're gonna have pretty much disorder taking place in these streets. But that's exactly what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all right, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash is going to be bringing. All right, there's going to be lots of turmoil, man. And these are the things that we want. You know, these are the things that we understand and know has to happen, because when these events take place and happen, what it's going to do is it's going to usher in, okay, the MOTB. Which, what is the MOTB? The MOTB is the RFID micro C-HIB that's written about in Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. Okay, that's all. That's ultimately their end goal, is to usher in the MOTB out of disorder to bring forth order, which is ultimately going to have you be a perpetual slave to the international bankers. Okay. Now, before we actually read this, I want to look up a definition called polycrisis. All right, let's look up polycrisis real quick, because poly meaning many, and then crisis. Crisis. All right, it says polycrisis. All right, yeah, let's just read it here, I guess. Yeah, we'll just read it here. It says a polycrisis is a cluster of disparate. Is it disparate? Hold up. Essentially different in kind. Okay, that's what disparate means. Not desperate, but disparate. All right, so it says essentially different in kind, not allowing comparison. So it's going to be all kinds of different crises that are going to happen that are going to be variously different. Okay, whether you're going to have you know, in these crises that are going to come, it's going to be by way of you know, famines, you know, different diseases and things of that nature that they're going to be putting out there. You know, skirmishes popping up, you know, a dirty bomb may go off here. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of events that are going to be taking place that's going to have the people shook. You know what I'm saying? That's why the scripture says, okay, let's actually get it. I can quote it, but I'll go ahead and just grab it real quick. Put this on, oh, whoops, let's do it like this. There we go. That's why the scripture says in Isaiah, the 33rd chapter, it says that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength of salvation. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. I'm actually going to read this in the NLT. I never read this verse in the NLT before. It says, in that day he will be your sure foundation. Who's going to be our sure foundation? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to be our sure foundation. Okay, Yahweh Shai is that rock. All right, and those of us who have been sincere, all right, really pushing forth this word in sincerity and in truth, calling upon the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai in sincerity and in truth, really taking this truth seriously, our reward is going to pay. Excuse me, our reward is going to pay off. Okay, we're going to be able to cash out on the investment that we've been making this whole time. Okay, so it says, in that day he will be your sure foundation. He will be your sure foundation, providing a rich store of salvation. I'm sorry, he'll be a sure foundation, providing a rich store of salvation. You see, we're going to be able to cash out. You see, we've been storing our spiritual riches in heaven this whole time. You see, not trying to worry about, riches here on earth, but we've been casting everything that we've had upon Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, making our spiritual investments. So we're going to be able to cash out in that time. Lord willing, we have that number. It says the fear of Yahweh will be your treasure. And that's the beginning of everything. That's the beginning of being wise. It's the beginning of wisdom. All right, when you have a solid fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you have an understanding. Well, 1449. Barakatah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? There's another scripture that says what? Perfecting your fear in the Lord. Perfecting. I know it's in Isaiah, I believe. No, not this one. It says perfect fear. Or perfect peace. Perfect peace. Let's read this one first. But there's another one that talks about how perfect peace. We'll read this one here in 2 Corinthians 7. It says, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved. And what promises do we have? We have the promises of the kingdom. The promises of salvation. The promises that, Yahweh Shai shed his blood for us and that will be covered in that time, like it says in Romans the 9th chapter. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit. Okay, we got to walk holy. And to walk holy means to be separate. It says perfecting holiness in the fear of the Most High. You see, perfecting holiness in the fear of the Most High. And with us perfecting holiness in these events of these polycrises, that's going to be on the planet Earth. All right, as the scripture says, mischief shall be upon mischief and rumor upon rumor. When these things begin to happen upon the planet Earth, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to protect us while our enemies, the Edomites, beginning with the Edomites and the rest of these different heathen nations as well, as 2/3 of our people who've been scoffing and things of that nature, they're going to be caught up in all that. You see, they're going to be caught up in these different events that's going to be hitting the planet Earth. And great fear is going to fall upon them. I'm talking about great fear, the fear that's going to grip them. Okay? But there's another, let's get the one I was actually wanting. Perfect fear. Is it perfect? Oh, I'm sorry. Perfect peace. Perfect peace. All right. Isaiah 26. We'll read this and then we'll go back to that definition. Isaiah 26 verse 3. It says, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. You see, the Lord is going to keep us in perfect peace, man. Let's read this in the NLT. You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. You see that? All whose thoughts are fixed on you. You see, and the thoughts that we have, man, the thoughts that the Lord has towards us, as the scripture says, is thoughts of peace. We're hoping that we're going to get an expected end. You see, we have an expectation behind everything that we're doing. We're not just doing this, just because it's for fun or, nah, man. We have an expectation when it's all said and done at the end of the day. And our expectation is salvation. Okay? Now, let's go back to this definition. It says a polycrisis is a cluster of disparate crises and shocks that interact, entangle, and mutually reinforce one another. So pretty much each event or each crisis, if you will, is going to coincide and culminate into something that's going to be even bigger. Okay? It says that interact, entangle, and mutually reinforce one another. So you're going to have, diseases. It's going to bring forth. You're going to have famine that's going to bring forth diseases. That's going to bring forth more sickness. That's going to bring forth dead bodies. It's going to bring forth wild beasts coming out of their places. Pretty much you had polycrises that was happening in Egypt whenever Egypt fell. You had the Nile River turning into blood. Then the fish in the Nile River died, which was a source of their traffic and their income. You know, and then, you know, various different things, man. You know, the hail coming down and destroying their crops, you know. Got to also keep in mind when that was happening and, you know, their cattle was dying, you know. Egypt fell by polycrisis, man. Okay? It says it typically leads to more drastic effects than the sum of the parts. See? The concept was coined in the 1990s, but became popular in the 2020s to refer to the effects of the PDM, war, inflation, climate change, energy shortages, and democratic backslidings. You see that? And these are all things that we're seeing now, man. They reaffirmed it back in the 2020s when the whole thing happened. The whole Crown Royale. Okay? War, inflation, sea change, energy shortages. You know, they're telling you, you know, you gotta turn your AC down here in the summertime because, you know, there's gonna be rolling blackouts here. Then in the wintertime, you know, you can only use so much energy for heat. You know, democratic backslidings, and look what's going on right now in the whole elections, man. Look at the turmoil that's taking place in these presidential elections. But specifically, it says democratic backslidings, man. And man, if you can't see it, this whole democratic, it's all demonic at the end of the day. Don't get it twisted. But if you can't see this whole democratic convention and parties all jacked up and all, you know, it's rooted in wickedness, man. You know, the so-called, you know, the presidential candidates and things of that nature, man. They all into, you know, Moism. You know, but this is what the elite want. They want complete chaos. They want complete chaos to erupt in these streets. Okay, that's what they want, because they understand and know that out of that chaos is they're going to bring forth more order, more draconian measures. Okay, more draconian laws and things of that nature. That's what they want. Okay. So it says, Schwab says era of shock events is coming ahead of 2024 elections. It says Schwab's whiff just warned an era of shock events is coming ahead of the 2024 U.S. elections as the global E prepared to unleash chaos in society. And that's what we've been saying this whole time. They plan to they're preparing to unleash chaos. And this lines up with the scripture in Revelation 12 chapter. Okay, Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. All right, it says, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So the devil is talking about Esau. Okay, he is the devil that the Bible speaks of on the planet Earth, operating and ruling the world as we know it. As the scripture says, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So as he knows that his power structure is going down, he understands and knows that he's losing grip. You know, he's losing the narrative. He has to continue to, you know, he's a forger of lies, but his lies are no longer working. You know, you got people uprising. You know, there's an insurrection taking place amongst his whole thing with these different sicknesses that are rolling around and things that they want to roll out. I'll just put it like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, man, you better get hip. You know, the things that they want to roll out with these sicknesses. You got people saying, hell nah. You know, you got people, you know, it's like that's like, nah, man. You know? So what's he gonna do? He's gonna come down with great wrath, right? These things are going to be forced. Okay, these agendas and things of that nature are gonna be it's gonna be forced, man. Okay, because he knows he has but a short time to rule. Okay, it says in a dystopian article, the WIF warns that citizens ahead to the polls in November should be expecting destabilizing events, including a cyber PDM. Now, what is this? What is a cyber PDM? All right, you have all these different technical glitches that's been going on as of lately, whether it be, you know, it was a crowd strike. You know, that was one of the main ones that happened, to whereas all these various different flights got canceled. You know, my job was affected with that. Whereas you go on your computer, you know, banks didn't have access. You know, people didn't have access to their bank accounts. Like I said, 911 also wasn't 911 wasn't operational. Okay, you had a lot of medical equipment that went down. Medical information wasn't accessible. You know, once again, people couldn't access their bank accounts. Okay, these are cyber PDEMs. And then you've had these events where, you know, T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint, you know, all these major phone companies all of a sudden just stop working for a period of time. Or you have people who can't access their bank accounts, or their bank accounts are showing negative in their account. You know, all they need is a cyber attack to happen. You know, and they can cancel the elections. If shit gets too crazy before the elections, they can just cancel it. You know, they can cancel that. They have the power to do that. And if that happens, man, you're gonna have all kinds of chaos unleashing. One second. All right. So it says, including a cyber PDEM, which is intentional. You see that? The emergence of a new global, you see the word there, group. Okay, the emergence of a new global E-group, okay, and fast-tracked sea change disasters, including a sudden sea level rise that will submerge an island nation. And they got the power to do that with their, you know, with their HARP, which the Most High gave them that power to do so. Okay, but they got the power to do so with their HARP, you know, and their you know, the kinds of weapons that they have to create artificial earthquakes and things of that nature. You know, pretty much you've had the sea level rising, and I think it's in California. It's been rising like a certain amounts of either inches or feet daily. Okay, so you have all these things that are happening right before these coming elections, man. You know, and these elections, man, it's gonna get okay. It's gonna get crazy, man. You already have these right wing. You know, you already got these right wing, you know, Trump supporters who, you know, are about their guns or about their country, and then you got the left wing Dems, you know, which is about, you know, quote unquote democracy and freedom for the people, and you know, freedom of choice and things of that nature. It's just all just a head into a clash. Okay, and that's what the scripture says. Matthew the 12th chapter. Okay, it says that let's actually just get it real quick here. A kingdom that's divided against itself can't stand. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. You see, you can't have a divided kingdom and think that the kingdom is going to be established and it's going to be a well-oiled machine. No, everybody has to be on one accord. You see, but they'll give you this WWE, you know, this WWE wrestling show between the right and the left, between, you know, this person and that person. You know, you got this group of people that believe in this ideals and ideologies and opinions, and then you got this group of people that believe in something completely opposite. And then they had the people choose, quote unquote, because the people don't really choose. They give you that illusion of choice. Okay, they give you this illusion of choice that you choosing a president. You know, that's a kingdom that's divided. So it says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And that's scripture, man. Yahushua said that, man. Okay, it says, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall his kingdom stand? You see, you got Satan going against Satan. You know, that has you know, left hand ideologies going both ways. How is the kingdom going to stand if they're both just against each other? It can't. It's impossible. Okay. It says the global E are desperate for elections in 2024 to go their way, as they continue attempting to evade prosecution for crimes against humanity perpetrated in the post-PDEM era. In this context, it is no surprise that the WIF is warning us to look for global risk to be further exacerbated by unexpected destabilizing shock events. And we mentioned some of those shock events that can come. whether it be, pestilences, whether it be more skirmishes and wars that are going to be taking place and popping off. You still got the whole, event happening out there between Israel and Palestine and Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, Ukraine, Russia. You got you got destabilization going on between NATO and EU nations. All these things is happening, man. Different diseases and sicknesses is popping up all together at once. Man, in the past week I done read about there's like five sicknesses, major sicknesses that the WHO is putting out there. And the scriptures talk about, it says that many people shall die of grievous deaths. And when you get that word grievous deaths in the Hebrew, it says by various diseases. That could be a whole thing to shut things down, man. Another institution of lockdowns is going to be coming into play. Okay? It says, what are the global planning? Perhaps the most concerning line in the article is a reference to international cybersecurity attacks. Okay? You ain't gonna be able to get on the internet. You ain't gonna be able to access your bank accounts being compromised. Hell, you just had 2.6 billion social security numbers that was compromised last week. What do you think that was all about? Who do you think was really in control of all that? They want these events to happen, whereas they're going to have the people bending down and wanting more security. All right, it says, given K. Schwab's longstanding interest in unleashing a devastating cyber attack on the world, this warning should not be taken lightly, because everything that these devils say, all right, they already have it set in their mind to do it. The scripture says when the morning is light, they practice it. All right, because it is in the power of their hand. They have an agenda at the end of the day that they go by. Okay? It says, referencing the CrowdStrike global cybersecurity outage in July, that's what we mentioned earlier, the WIF said, imagine if a bad actor did this on purpose and on an even grander scale, talking about a bad actor, like as they like to use the term, the Russians or China, things of that nature, and it's on a more grander scale. And that lets you know how fast they can shut things down if they really wanted to. If they really wanted to shut things down and have people stop moving around and things of that nature, and really get things popping off, they really have the power to do so by the push of a button. If they wanted to have his internet get shut down, they could stop it in the snap of a finger if they really wanted to. You see? And this is the article right here. It says, new global groups emerges. It says, with the world distracted with multiple major wars and leadership in decline. This is on the WIF website, by the way. It says, a new global group emerges. With the world distracted with multiple major wars and leadership in decline, this could be an opportunistic time for a new group to make its mark and maybe not face as many consequences. And that's going to be what? Civil unrest. As it says in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, political turmoil. Okay? It says, perhaps it will even leverage all tools to kick off a new phase of terrorism. You see that word there? Okay? All these different new groups popping up. Militias and things of that nature popping up. You see? And this is on their website, so they're letting you know what they're getting ready to do. They're letting you know what they're getting ready to do. It says a cyber PDM that is international. Now, domestic pretty much means like domestic is like within the country. Like flying domestically is like flying from Texas to Florida, vice versa. International is whenever you going out, like, all different countries, right? The massive global IT outage in July was not theism, but simply a faulty software update from a cybersecurity firm. Yeah, right. That's what they like to tell you. It says, yet it cost Fortune 500 companies $5.4 billion in damages and shut down flights, banks, hospitals, retailers, and other services worldwide. Worldwide. This happened, right? Imagine if a bad actor did this on purpose and at an even grander scale. See that? So just imagine if it was more lethal in the sense of the whole sea attack, the whole cyber thing. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I dripped something on my pants. Hold on 1 second. Man, we're drinking this juice. Give me 1 second. It is what it is. All right, so let's continue. It says the WEF also claimed that we are living in an opportunistic time for a global E-group to emerge and wreak havoc around the world without suffering many consequences. And you've already had that pretty much taking place with little groups that they've set up. Like whatever happened to the I to the S to the I to the S. You know, whatever happened to the Antifa and all these different groups. You know, whatever happened to these groups, they pop up and then they disappear. You know, that was claiming responsibility for this and claiming responsibility for that. But these things are going to come back. And beginning with the apostles and elders on down, we've been saying this, that there's going to be, you know, even larger scale attacks, quote unquote, that are going to be happening. That's going to cause more fear to grip the people. Okay? It says, meanwhile, it sounds like the sea crisis will be leveraged by the global E to further their agenda. According to the WIF, talking about the sea change. Central bank digital currency, CBDC, and digital ID payment systems are also on the agenda. Okay? Which is what? This is leading to the MOTB. Central bank digital currencies and digital ID payment systems are also on the agenda. Okay? I just did a video yesterday on how the EU is planning they're planning to go live with their biometric entry exit systems on November the 10th. Okay? So this is happening, man. You know? This is all going to all roads lead to the MOTB, and we know when the MOTB is fully pushed and implemented, what's going to happen? You're going to have things speed up extremely fast. You know? And like Elder Apostle Tahar said, which I believe him, I believe, the assessment that, man, this thing can be rolled out within the 6 months. Now, we're not saying that that's prophecy and we can go to the scripture and so forth, the 6 months is going to happen. You know, but the way how fast things is moving, hey, it could very well be rolled out here in the next, 6 months to a year. Hell, we hope that it is. Because when that happens, we understand and know how close we are to getting the hell up out of here. That's what we want. We want these things to happen, man. It ain't like we waiting. When these things happen, we start getting all sad or no, man. We get excited because we understand and know that the more that these events happen, is more prophecy being fulfilled, ultimately to usher in the kingdom of heaven at the end of the day in the fall of Esau-Edom system. Okay. So let's read that one more time. Central bank digital currency, CBDC, and digital ID payment systems are also on the agenda. According to Schwab and the WIF, who warned this will result in the global south moving away from trading in the US dollar, right? Because that's the world reserve currency right now. And even attempting a new blockchain payment system, which is going to first be a UBI, which is a universal basic income. That's going to be a digital income or a digital coin that's going to be attached to your wallet, And then eventually it's going to lead to a device that they're going to put inside of you, man. That you're going to be able to access all your information. You're going to be able to make payments. You're going to be able to access health information. You can't access particular facilities and buildings without having this. You're not going to be able to have a job. You're not going to be able to access your car, drive your car without it because your driver's license is going to be on it. You ain't going to be able to pay your rent or have a house or a mortgage or things of that nature without having it. Because all your information is going to be stored on this device. That's what it all leads to. And with that device, it's gonna lead to total control. Okay? A new blockchain payment system Okay, it ain't talking about no goddamn sin. Like you got the IUIC trying to tell you. You know, you perform the sin with your mind and then you act it out with your hand. So what sin, my whole question once again is this: what sin is Esau going to implement that's going to cause you to not buy and sell? Is he going to say you gotta be a mo? You know, you gotta commit adultery. You gotta go out there and murder somebody before you can buy and sell? What sin are they going to implement? What sin is it going to be that's going to cause you to, whereas if you don't do it, you will be put to death? You see? And it says, and the scripture says that, you know, those who don't take the MOTB, you know, you're going to have some that are going to be beheaded. So you're going to have some that's going to be beheaded for not sinning. You know? Because we all sin every day. So, I mean, like, you know, it just doesn't add up. What sin, you know, what sin is it going to be that's going to bring forth that grievous sore, that cancer? They never break that down either. They don't even break down what the grievous sore even is. But, you know, let them tell you, you know. But Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth and also teaching his truth. And much peace, love, and salutation unto the elect. Until the next time I say, Shalom.